right, everyone, welcome to another episode of the Launchpad. My name is Jessica, and today I am joined by Monic. She is one of our 2026 rising stars for Moon Landing. If you want to say hello to all of our fans.
Hi, everybody. So excited to be here. Thanks for having me, Jess. Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. So let's just dive right in.
Yeah,
Let's start off
do
with
it.
your artist name. What made you choose the name Monic, and was it the first artist name that you've gone by?
This is the first artist name that I've gone by. It's actually just short for Monica, which is my middle name. So my name is Sarah Monica Rosato. So yeah, that's really it. I didn't want to overthink it. I wanted it to be something that was kind of part of my name, and it just made more sense to use that than like my first name. That's it.
That's fair. I feel like there's a lot of Sarahs out there already, so I think
Yeah.
going with the middle name was a good call.
Hard to compete with the Sarahs that are out there. So let's just go by another name, I guess. Yeah.
For sure. And you live in LA now. Is that where you're originally from?
No, so I'm originally from Miami. So I moved to LA like about 8 years ago. When I moved originally, it wasn't to pursue music. It was just a life change. Just wanted something a little different. And while I was here, then I decided to go all in on this music thing.
Awesome. And when did you decide to go all in on music?
Um, Specifically EDM, like 3 years ago. I used to do music professionally, but for like mega churches, I used to be religious, and that's a whole other story and topic. But this project specifically, EDM, I want to say 2022 is when I started.
Awesome. And when you started, did you start just learning on your own, or did you have like a mentor? Did you take classes? Like, how did you start learning producing?
I learned how to produce through Cosmic Academy. So before I joined that, I used my prior knowledge of just composition and writing to kind of figure out how to get by with like the songs that I write. Um, and then for it to start sounding, streaming ready and whatnot, I did Cosmic Academy. It's this boot camp slash like artist collective. And there were a few people in the Rising Artist article that actually did the same program. So it's super cool to see the alumni, I don't know, like moving forward and doing some cool stuff.
Right. Yeah. I just did an interview with Rhiannon Rose a couple of weeks ago, and I know she was one of the people
Yeah.
who did Cosmic Academy as well.
Yeah, love her. She's killing it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, like Cosmic Academy is definitely working then if we're like noticing all of these people from there. So,
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, definitely recommend it. It's not a plug, but if you're listening to this and you're wondering, should you do it? I think you should.
and did you have any musical background prior to that?
Yeah, so I grew up, my grandfather taught me how to play the piano. I don't remember not knowing. Like they have been drilling it in me since I was in diapers. And yeah, and it just I never had like private lessons aside from them. And then from there, I taught myself guitar when I was like 10, learned how to properly sing in high school through the choir teacher that I had. Shout out to him. It was one of the best programs in the state. And that's when I really dug into like music theory. And then at some point, it just kind of clicked. Um, and then, yeah, I've been writing music since I was a teenager. I guess just I love all genres of music. So like I can dig into works from when I was like 20 and you'll find it a folk song, an R&B song. I just love to create music. But yeah, that's a bit of my background. And up until this point, here we are making euphoric EDM.
Right. So, what
Yeah.
specifically got you into EDM? Was there like a show you went to or artist that you started listening to?
It's kind of it's a little emotional. So like um just a little background, like in my early 20s, I used to be very involved with like the Christian church and to a point where I was on staff and I would write music for this stuff. It was one of those like super hipstery type of churches. I don't know if you like know what I'm talking about. And um just personal things that like, I drifted off. A lot of things to consider, I'm in a same-sex marriage that doesn't necessarily align with that. And like, I had to kind of like drift away from it. And I kind of took like a break from music in general because it was almost like a pain point for me. Um, anything that I would like, anytime I would sit at my piano and like play around with chords, the only melody that would come out of me sounded kind of worshipy. And um, and it would just oh, airplane passing, and it would just bring out emotions that I didn't necessarily want to visit. And so I just kind of put it to rest, got a master's degree in education, and decided to just live a simple, regular life. And it was finally around 2022, I think, I decided to go to EDC. So my wife and I go, and um, I remember it was Zedd set that I just something lit up in me. And I've just absolutely fell in love with the idea of writing again. I was super inspired, and instead of being mad at my past, I decided to dig into it and find the strength from it and the parts of it that I feel like are still true to me and just apply it to my story today. And I think a few takeaways are like just euphoric music in general. I love music that makes people feel something. And I thought before I only knew how to write music that makes people feel something religious, but now I can write music that makes people feel just something just more just true to them. So here I am.
So the type of music you make is more reminiscent of that like golden era of EDM, that like 2012 to 2016 like big room house style of music. Like what made you decide on that style?
It's just what's naturally coming out of me. I feel like I was actually having a brief DM conversation with a fan, and he said something that kind of stuck with me. He said it's kind of odd because 2016 was a very hard year for me. And while everybody is reminiscing and almost celebrating the comeback, he says it was a hard year for him. But he was very grateful to hear like to find my music, like it's been touching him. And I like responded back with like 100% honesty and said that, you know what, 2016 was probably the worst year of my life. And just a lot of, just a lot of confusion going on, and just loneliness. And while also at the same time, there was this weird bliss in the air. And I think in a way, these songs are coming out of me at some form of like redemption, maybe. Um, yeah, I'm not quite sure. I'm definitely not forcing these emotions, but they're definitely every lyric that I write and every chord that I produce and whatever I hit there, it's definitely coming from a special place, and it's healing me, and it's just kind of putting a bookmark in this part of my life that things are better, things are different, and I can only hope that it does the same for somebody else.
Awesome. So you had mentioned Zed as being someone that kind of inspired you. What other artists have inspired you?
Um, I'm a huge fan of the Chainsmokers. As far as like OGs like back in the day, the Chainsmokers, Zedd, I would say, Martin Garrix, like those big, they're big and commercial for a reason. Just their impact is just amazing. But artists of today that I absolutely look up to are people like Daniel Allen, um, Knock 2, ISO, XO, genres that are completely different from what I do. But I think what I'm admiring about them is their power to build a community. Like there's just something in the air with these artists and their crowd that they're manipulating like I don't know, like a vibe, like a culture, and it's making people feel like included. And yeah, it's like it's like I want to take the euphoric like emotions from that are inspired from back then and then take like the commitment that these new artists are making and building a world. Bunt is another example. 100% look up to that guy. When talking about like that community kind of aspect in their shows and experiences. I just hope that I could do the same. And I'm kind of starting baby steps, but
Right, yeah, it takes
yeah,
time to build that kind of community.
yeah,
Did you happen to go to ISO Noctu's festival that they did?
I did not. I believe I was playing. I think that fell in the same weekend that I was playing direct support for Audion. Was that in October?
I don't remember when it was. I just
I
know it was
think it
like
was
the end of
October.
last year sometime. Yeah.
Yeah, it was in October. Yeah, so I think I had a show in Orange County. I was playing direct support for Audion at time, and I think it fell on the same weekend. So I did not get to go. The last time I saw Noctu and ISO together was when they headlined the Shrine for like a few days straight in a row. And that was incredible. They absolutely crushed it.
Yeah, I mean, opening for audience, a pretty good reason to miss that show.
Yeah.
So when you're creating tracks, like what DAW do you work in?
He's Ableton.
And do you use any of the like live instrumentation that you know how to use in any of your tracks?
Um, I am very limited on my space and and what I have. Like I'm borrowing my friend's place, but so I don't be fooled. I just have a laptop and headphones. I don't even have a MIDI keyboard. So I would love to plug one in and make my workflow a lot easier, but I am penciling in every note by hand. So here we are. Sometimes though, I do have to, I mean, obviously besides vocal recording, but I think like there's one track, it's called Stay, where I record a guitar into it. But yeah, anything where I need a MIDI keyboard or a piano, I am unfortunately drawing every note in hand by
Directly into
hand.
the piano roll.
Yeah. Until I can have a cool ass setup, here we are.
Nice. If someone hasn't heard your music yet, what song do you think best represents you right now?
I would say it's hard to pick one. Um, I would say if you haven't heard Out Alive, you have to hear it. It came out December, right? Yeah, it came out in December, and it's just I would say I would start there. And then I would listen to Say That You're Mine. And then you'll probably be confused. Wow, this is like two different emotions, but it's all under the same umbrella. It's euphoria, it's festival-y. Yeah,
What advice would you give someone who is just starting out, either trying to be a DJ or a producer?
I would say the best advice I could give someone who is starting is to start. And what I mean by that is I feel like I think people could tend to be perfectionist or wanting to wait until everything is like completely perfect so that their first release of anything they do is like this big moment. And that's just not like reality. Um, like be comfortable with writing bad music, be comfortable with your first like content promotion that you put on TikTok or Instagram, like be comfortable with it having very low views and not understanding what to do. But it's better to get the ball rolling and seek mentorship and critique as you go. But the point is, the best thing to do is to start anything, anywhere, anything. I started DJing. I had a tiny little controller and I started learning how to mix music that people already made. I didn't wait till I had music to learn how to transition and stuff. I had Ableton Lite. If for those who don't know what that is, it is the cheapy version of Ableton where you can only have 12 tracks. And I would creatively put samples in a drum rack, which kind of sucked because the samples would have to finish. Like I couldn't like chop it. And I would try to get my ideas across that sort of way. Obviously, anything from that era would never see the light of day as far as like Spotify, but I was able to start putting ideas on paper. They were shitty ideas. They were ideas. And if you're not comfortable with making 100 shitty ideas, you'll never get to the one good idea.
Right, you've got to start somewhere.
Yes.
So, tracks that you have released, they've been released on Revealed Recordings and Protocol Recordings, huge labels for the type of music that you produce. What other labels would you love to have your tracks released on?
I I would love to release on Big Beat Records. Insomniac Records is another one. Stamped. What was the one? Torn or Interscope? I forget. The one that Zedd works with a lot. I think it's Interscope.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with that. But those are definitely dream labels that I would love to work with. For now, my ultimate dream is to open my own. And as soon as this thing takes off, that is the plan. So
And would you want to release like similar styles of music, or would you be open to like anything as long as it's good?
I want, I think I would want it to be like not necessarily a specific genre, but like a certain expectation where it's like I think what I like about the golden era so much is that I feel like that music is certain songs that came from that era are timeless. They will live with us forever, no matter whatever wave we're going through. Like Clarity by Zedd is a banger, even when we went through our Afro House phase. Like even when we go through it, like it doesn't matter what like phase we go through, like that is going to be a timeless song. And I think that is my vision for when I do open a label. It's not necessarily a genre that I'm looking for, but it's like, is this song something that we will know 20 years from now? Like, is it timeless, or who knows? That's just what I'm saying now. But yeah, but I think it's the idea, just to gather that kind of mindset.
Who are some of your dream collaborations? They don't have to be DJs, they could be other types of artists.
So I would love to work with Demi Lovato. It's just a dream to just have a song with her. Um, I would like to, not necessarily a collab that I like my name would necessarily be on, but I've always admired the way that Charlie Puth just writes in general. And if I could ever be in a room and write something with him, even if it lands in a pop star's like repertoire, like I'm that would be sick as hell, But specifically in EDM, um, I've mentioned Zedd a million times, but that would make me happy if I could do something with him. But um, yeah, I think that's it. That's all I can think of for now.
Demi Lovato is my go-to for karaoke. Sorry, not sorry is my favorite.
Yeah. No, she's just, yeah. I guess maybe it's just like growing up with her or like with watching her. And I've just always admired it. And like I love the EDM stuff that she has recorded on. And like it would just be so sick if I can get to a point where I get to work with just legendary people like Demi.
And what about shows and festivals? What are some of the top ones that you hope to play?
My absolute dream is to play EDC Las Vegas. There are plenty of amazing festivals, especially like for my genre, like Tomorrowland would be a great one. And I'll lose my shit if I'm on the Tomorrowland lineup. Don't get me wrong. But I think I would cry if I find out I'm on like it's EDC Las Vegas lineup. Um, Anytime I fantasize about playing a festival, my mind always thinks 3 a.m. in circuit grounds, and everyone is just having a memorable experience. and I would love to give that one day. And what was you said festival and then what? Sorry.
Or just shows, like any places that you'd want to play or venues?
Yeah, and then as far as like a dream like headline venue, um I might think I think a little too big for my own good, but my dream is to do like a 360 in Madison Square Gardens. Um I don't know if I'll get that far, or maybe I need to manifest it. But that is a dream venue. I dream of the Shrine, but I think like I really dream of just going so big with it, and something like Madison Square would be like that'd be sick.
Or yeah, they say when you manifest something, you got to be specific. So I think you're there.
Yeah, hopefully.
What about some of the memorable moments you've had so far in your musical journey?
I would say it was only like 2-ish weeks ago. But we threw our first headlining show. Um and I don't know, yeah, they're so before the new year happened, I was chatting with, one of my best friends and saying like, man, I feel like I should start building my community. I don't think I should wait until I have a lot of followers and to start. Like I should start now, even if it's a small pop-up. And so we were exploring like throwing my first pop-up at like a boba shop or something like that. And then I made a video on Instagram that kind of blew up a little bit, like a mini blow up, and I ended up like at the 10K mark. And then something kind of lit up in me and thought maybe I could do a little more. Let's try a show. It doesn't have to be huge, but like if I can get a couple hundred people in the room that are intentionally setting aside their Friday to be in this room, that's a success. And we had that's what we did. It was at a small club in Hollywood, and we had 200 people there. It was ticketed too, so people just like willing to pay to be in the room, which is so helpful. We were able to it helped get things together. I sold merch and people actually bought it, which blows my mind. And then like it was just such an experience. Yeah, I think that although that just happened, I think that's going to live with me for quite some time. I say a lot on my socials, like, um, you know, I'm really grateful for those who were here from the beginning. It takes a lot to believe in somebody. There's hundreds and thousands of artists on Instagram and on TikTok, and to take a second and believe in somebody that like doesn't have many accolades in the moment, I don't take that lightly because they are the building blocks for the other people who jump on later down the road. And that show was special. It was unique. I had like my intro that I did. I like spoke into like I produced like an intro where like I actually like talked into it, like talking to the people who were in that room, just expressing my gratitude for them being there. And it was just so beautiful. It was so beautiful. I got like candy made just for me, and like yeah, I can go on, but like I think I do believe that one day this will end up being, you know, festivals and stadiums. But before it gets to that point, right, I wanted to take a second to remember and soak in that moment with the people who were there from the beginning. And I think that was that, any experience going from there, it just won't be that, right? There's just something special about it.
Right, that's awesome. Congrats on making
Thank
that
you.
happen.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was a lot, but and the amount of people, the amount of support I got and help, laborious help in printing the merch. We printed it by hand. Like we got our own machine. Um and just yeah, just the amount of support that we got that um that I got in making this happen just blows my mind, means the world to me, and I'm forever in their debt.
And what about what's up next for you this year? Do you have other shows planned? Do you have more releases coming out?
So we are working on, I keep saying we, but like I am working on I want the Here from the Beginning to kind of be a tour. Um so I am trying to do something in New York City, aiming for San Francisco, maybe Denver, maybe Dallas. But I have everyone on my socials just making sure they sign up for updates. But the plan and the plan is to do a few more headlines this year. Um, you know, and but that is up in the air. I am working on it. As far as like releases, tonight actually, Time is Slipping Away is going to be released through Actuation Records. It's my collab with my friend. He goes by Ahimsa, and I'm super excited for that one. I have plenty of music on the way for the year, so this is not the only release. Aiming to do at least once a month, but we'll see where this goes.
Well, when you come to Denver, I will definitely go to your show.
Oh, is that where you're based?
I'm based in Denver. Yeah, our blog is based in Arizona.
Okay.
I mean, everyone in Arizona would go out there too. So if you don't have Tempe on your list, you should definitely add it.
Yeah, I mean, after this, I'm happy to chat with you. I mean, the only thing that really blocks me from being able to throw the shows is just lack of like resources or just like knowing who or where we can go and make this like our own thing. So if anybody's watching this and knows a thing or two, it's like hit me up. So
For sure. And then my last question for you has nothing to do with music. What are your hobbies outside of music? Like when you're not working, what do you do?
okay. I do go to the gym. It's really important to me that I do that. Not because I'm like a gym rat or whatever, which is awesome if you are. But I think yeah. So I try to gym like 3 to 4 times a week. Um, I am married. I have a dog, and we love matcha dates and just going out to eat in general. Um, that's really it. I'm 30 years old, right? So there's not too much that I'm doing outside of music because I genuinely love doing that. But fitness, matchas, restaurants. I'm not even gonna try to dig for more. Right? That's basically it, man.
Okay, what kind of dog do you have and what is their name?
He is a Dachshund, mixed with a bunch of other things. He's a big wiener. That's what I like to tell people. I like to tell people I have a big wiener. His name is Ollie, and he's blonde and he's 30 pounds. I thought he was gonna be like a lap dog. I don't know why I thought that. I just assumed wiener dog. I didn't know that when I was buying him, I didn't know that there were standard Dachshunds and miniatures. I thought they were all small. And so, yeah, he's very medium. But yeah,
I mean, how big can they really get though, you know?
I know. No, but that's what I thought. I thought like, oh, I can take him on the plane and visit my family and whatever. And no, I can't. He stays here when I go.
Well, those are all the questions I have for you. Is there anything else that you would like to add?
I would like to add whoever is, if you're listening and you're an aspiring artist and DJ, like I said earlier, just try. If you have something to say, if you have something to give, the world needs it. And if you're listening and you're a raver, um, keep shining your light out there, keep practicing Plur, and um, I wish more music in your life and just more memorable moments, whatever festival you're going to. Please be safe. And it's going to be a good festival season. It's going to be a good year.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much, Monic, for joining us for this episode of the Launchpad. And thank you, everyone, for watching. We will see you all next time.
Thank you so much.